The Democratic People's Republic of Korea possesses an increasingly capable ballistic missile inventory and continues to make progress on its nuclear weapons program. Despite its struggling economy, North Korea invests significant financial resources into its weapons of mass destruction program in an effort to deter the United States and its allies. The DPRK refuses to cooperate with the international community in efforts to monitor and roll back its nuclear program. Due to a lack of transparency regarding its nuclear and ballistic missile program and unpredictable leadership, North Korea poses a considerable threat to the United States and allies around the world. North Korea paused test launches in November 2017 amid denuclearization talks with the United States, but restarted their testing program in April 2019 after discussions stalled. According to comments from senior leadership in the Department of Defense, North Korea is still considered to be a missile threat to the United States that should be postured against. North Korea's efforts to develop ballistic missile capabilities date back to the Cold War, when the Soviet Union and China likely provided the isolationist nation with technical assistance. The DPRK's ballistic missile capabilities have progressed significantly over the last few decades, evolving from artillery rockets in the 1960s to short and medium-range ballistic missiles in the 1980s and 90s, before finally developing and testing intermediate-range and intercontinental ballistic missiles beginning in the late 1990s and continuing to today. In 1965, North Korean leader Kim Il-sung chose to develop ballistic missile capabilities by increasing the military budget and relying on outside assistance from the Soviet Union and China. As a result, the isolationist state made rapid progress in its ballistic missile program by the increased military funding as well as reverse engineering the missiles of its communist allies. In 1998, after an attempted satellite launch with a multi-stage missile, North Korea demonstrated a willingness to develop ICBMs that could target the United States homeland. Since Kim Jong-un came to power, there has been a notable increase in missile tests and rapid technological developments, including the successful launch of an ICBM and other solid fuel missiles. The Kim regime possesses a variety of ballistic missiles with varying capabilities. In the category of close-range ballistic missiles, the regime has two different weapons, the KN-09 and the KN-02. The KN-09 is currently in development and has a suspected range of 190 kilometers. The KN-02 is an older missile, having been introduced in 2004 and tested at least 20 times since then. The missile also has a range of 120 kilometers, and there are thought to be less than 100 of this variant in North Korea. The regime also possesses a number of short-range ballistic missiles. Specifically, the isolationist state is believed to employ 5 types of SRBMs: the hwasong 5, hwasong 6, hwasong 9, KN-21, and the KN-23. The hwasong 5 and the hwasong 6 were developed with Soviet assistance in the 1970s and 80s and are speculated to have been tested and deployed. The hwasong 5, also known as the Scud-B, has a range of 300 kilometers, and the hwasong 6, also known as the Scud-C, has a range of 500 kilometers. The hwasong 9, or Scud-D, was developed indigenously by North Korea. It is believed to have a range between 800 and 1,000 kilometers and a payload capacity of around 500 kilograms. It can carry chemical or high explosive warheads and even possibly has the capacity to be fitted with a miniaturized nuclear warhead. The KN-21 is a suspected variant of North Korea's first missile, the hwasong 5. The KN-21 SRBM is a unitary Scud missile with a non-separating warhead that gives it the capability to maneuver in the terminal phase of flight. The KN-23 was displayed in a February 2019 military parade and tested in May of that year. North Korea has also invested in submarine-launched ballistic missiles, or SLBMs. The KN-11 successfully completed a full flight test in August 2016 when it flew over 500 kilometers towards Japan. An enlarged, land-based version of that missile, known as the KN-15, was also tested in February 2017, with an operational range estimated to be up to 3,000 kilometers. The KN-26 is the most recently revealed and tested SLBM, with the first test being carried out in October 2019. Few details remain certain about the KN-26, but preliminary analysis suggests a range of over 1,900 kilometers. Submarine-launched missiles add a further layer of danger for regional allies like South Korea and Japan, and make neutralizing North Korean missiles in the event of open hostilities an even more difficult task for the United States and allies in the region. In terms of intermediate-range ballistic missiles, or IRBMs, Pyongyang is believed to have 2 types currently in service, the Musadan and the hwasong 12. The Musadong, also known as the Nodong B or the Taipodong X, has a speculated range of 2,500 to 4,000 kilometers and an estimated payload capacity of 1,200 kilograms. The missile is capable of striking US bases in the Pacific, like Guam, Okinawa, and Japan. On May 14, 2017, North Korea completed its first successful test of a new missile, the Hwasong 12, firing on a lofted trajectory to avoid flying over neighboring countries and to test the missile's re-entry vehicle. During the test, the hwasong 12 flew for about 30 minutes to an altitude of over 2,000 kilometers and traveled approximately 787 kilometers before landing in the Sea of Japan. Experts speculate that if the missile was fired at its standard trajectory, it could have traveled more than 4,000 kilometers. Later that year, on August 29th and September 15th, North Korea test launched the hwasong 12 missile directly over Japan. The August test saw the missile travel 2,700 kilometers and even further in September at 3,700 kilometers. North Korea's known intercontinental range ballistic missiles are the Hwasong 14 and the Hwasong 15. The Hwasong 14, also known as the KN-20, is a two-stage version of the Hwasong 12 IRBM. The Hwasong 14 was first seen on July 4, 2017, when it was successfully flight tested for the first time by North Korea. It flew for 39 minutes on a lofted trajectory before landing in the Sea of Japan. The Hwasong 14 was successfully tested again on July 28, 2017, when it flew again at a lofted trajectory for 47 minutes to a range of 1,000 kilometers and an altitude of 3,700 kilometers. Based on the July 28th test, experts estimate that the Hwasong 14 has a range of over 10,000 kilometers if flown on a range-maximizing ballistic trajectory. Possessing a wider and blunter nose cone than the Hwasong 14, indicating it could carry a super large heavy nuclear warhead on its tip, the Hwasong 15 is a two-stage missile. Tested on November 29, 2017, the Hwasong 15 flew for approximately 54 minutes, reached an altitude of 4,500 kilometers, and traveled around 960 kilometers. The test was a milestone as it marked the longest flight of a North Korean ICBM and theoretically puts the whole continental United States in range. North Korea's ballistic missile program remains a massive threat to US allies in the region, as well as the US homeland. Only with an effective missile defense program can Kim Jong-un's brutal regime be deterred against and stability and peace maintained.